Hello, and welcome to this Customer Experience session, where you will see how IBM has leveraged SAP Workflow Management to reinvent industry workflows. The agenda is to take you through a quick overview of SAP Workflow Management and show you innovations from IBM that can help you in accelerating your journey towards digitally transforming, automating, and extending customer experience. The SAP Customer Experience solution portfolio includes a wide variety of cloud-based solutions. To automate and extend your complete end-to-end business scenarios, you need services and solutions to integrate and extend products and portfolios, along with other SAP products such as SAP S/4HANA or third-party solutions. Extensibility is a key here for such scenarios, and the extension suite as part of the intelligent enterprise therefore plays a very critical role in addressing such scenarios, as it brings various capabilities for streamlining, optimizing, and extending processes. Workflow Management is a key offering of SAP Extension Suite, which constitutes different capabilities that help you digitize your processes and decisions, and to get an end-to-end visibility into your processes. The idea is to give you a holistic set of services to help you improve the overall experience of your business process orchestrations, automations, extensions, and optimizations. Among the key capabilities of workflow management is the Workflow Editor, which is a low-code tool to automate your processes. You can model and manage your workflows using Business Application Studio and deploy these workflows on the Business Technology Platform or BTP. All the deployed workflows can then be accessed via the public REST API, which makes the integration seamless with other services in the cloud. Next is the Business Rules capability, which helps you centrally manage all your decisions across different platforms. It comes with a common repository, data models, and lifecycle. You can model your rules using the web-based editor and also deploy them directly to any chosen S/4HANA, SAP HANA, or cloud landscapes. The third and newest addition we have is Process Flexibility capability, which provides a no-code tool for line of business users to flexibly manage and configure the workflow and business rules without needing to know how to use any kind of technical tool. Finally, we have Process Visibility capability to achieve out-of-box end-to-end visibility into workflows and other processes, such as business workflow, Qualtrics, and other third-party processes as well. Not only this, we are also providing ways to citizen developers and business users so that they can flexibly configure the processes and decisions in a completely no-code environment. We are also infusing intelligent technologies like intelligent robotic process automation and conversational AI to accelerate overall productivity. And all this is complemented with pre-built content packages. SAP Workflow Management has leveraged recent market trends and requirements to publish a lot of pre-built enterprise-ready content packages that you can instantly set up in your landscape using the Process Flexibility capability. We provide a no-code tool for citizen developers and business users with which they can discover, configure, and manage decision logic and these processes. Here is the content roadmap. We started with 15 content packages, which has now grown to 40 content packages, published in API Business Hub, which target different common process problems, and many of them are based out of SAP ECC and S/4HANA scenarios. By the end of this year, we plan to have more than 90 content packages, and this journey will continue into next year when we plan to publish many more content packages. Besides different in-house teams who are publishing content, we also have our partners onboarded with us on this journey. Today, IBM will take you through their journey of using workflow management to reinvent what they call intelligent workflows.
IBM has been building industry solutions using intelligent workflow as part of our Strategic Evolution Partnership Program with SAP. As part of this program, we have created the IBM Essentials Platform. This is a business platform which will enable the future of intelligent enterprises, and SAP Workflow Management is a very important and core component of this platform. Using this platform, we have built several solutions and intelligent workflows. And we are in the process of creating more such workflows further on. When we choose the use cases for the workflows for every industry, we focus on the ones where the processes span across multiple systems. The process is quite complex, and it is difficult to really get a view of that process unless you have centralized orchestration that is done by the workflow. So how does this work? We will show you how by using an example of a lead-to-order workflow whose content is already published in SAP's content library. Before that, however, here are a few key highlights about how these workflows are designed. We do the process modeling using IBM BlueWorks Live, as IBM's industry best practices are there. We leverage those best practices, and then we build the model for the workflows in the SAP Workflow Management tool, which is basically the core component of our process control tower. This forms the orchestration layer, and the actual steps get executed in the transactional end systems. There can be multiple transactional systems. A system can be on-premise, it can be in the cloud, and it can even be a non-SAP third-party system. But all of these processes are modeled in the workflow management layer. Next, we will do process mining using some of the market leaders' products in this space, which in this case is Celonis. We are also working on the process mining using SAP BPI. This step will improve the process in a kind of iterative way. Next, if you go to the actual lead-to-order process, you will see that several SAP systems are involved. Two interesting things about the intelligent workflows are, first, that it helps us orchestrate all these steps that are getting executed in these end systems. In this case, these are SAP Sales Cloud and SAP CPQ, which are both cloud-based SaaS solutions from SAP. We also use the S/4HANA on-premise system. All of these process steps that are being executed in different systems are being called through APIs. We have used SAP API Management as a layer in between to call the APIs in the back-end system. This is how we are able to maintain loosely coupled architecture and to maximize flexibility so that if any system changes or if we need to deploy a solution for a particular client who is not using, say, SAP CPQ but some other product, some other kind of CPQ, they can easily do so. And that's the beauty of it. Also, with process flexibility in SAP Workflow Management, we can easily insert any new step within this workflow or remove a step, depending on the client's specific requirements. We have used SAP Event Mesh to help end systems manage important events so that the workflow will move forward. Those events are captured in Event Mesh through webhooks. We monitor the status of the workflow as it moves to the next layer. We also capture all these different events in order to calculate the process KPIs, which you will see later on. If I delve into the details of the architecture of this specific process, you will see that it uses all the different components of SAP Workflow Management, and it is all in the SAP B2B layer. We have used SAP Cloud Process Integration in certain cases where the API format is different. We have used webhooks for capturing events. And for the S/4HANA system, we have primarily leveraged OData services. So all these systems are in use: SAP Cloud for Customer, SAP Sales Cloud, CPQ, S/4HANA, other back-end systems, and even Qualtrics and SAP FSM for scenarios, such as the entire leads-to-cash scenario. So let's move on to the process that we are going to demo in the system. You see that all these are standard SAP systems, but do you know what IBM has added on top of them all? A lead-to-order process specially made to handle complex configurable products. This means that you have many complexities in the product pricing and in the product setup in S4 and similarly in the CPQ system. The actual quotation process is also quite complicated, but all of these configurations have been done. Additionally, we have infused intelligence in these workflows through certain additional components such as cognitive pricing, which is an AI solution built on SAP Data Intelligence, and which we can call from the workflow using an API. Similarly, we have options for several types of scenarios. One is having chatbots start the process, or rather triggering the process through a chatbot. We can use SAP Conversational AI for that. In addition to all these features in the workflow layer, IBM has provided improvements and additions on top of the standard SAP content and framework, which you will hear about now. I'm going to talk about the lead-to-order or LTO solution that we have implemented for the industrial machinery and components industry, which is the integrated workflow for the entire LTO process. You can use the workflow rules for creating leads and creating opportunities. For the purpose of this demo, you will see a lead already created in the SAP Sales Cloud, and we will work on moving it forward. As we progress from screen to screen in this demonstration, you will notice how the events are generated in the workflow and the corresponding logs are generated. So this is the created lead. The sales representative uses conversational AI and the different chatbots that are integrated into Facebook and WhatsApp. And the representative tries to identify the leads that have higher chances of getting accepted and which look promising. The representative identifies the leads and changes their status from open to qualified, and we see that the qualification level is hot. So the sales representative goes ahead and creates the lead in the system. So once the sales representative has created the lead, you can nurture that lead by interacting with the customer and by understanding the customer's requirements in detail. And accordingly, you can assign the lead a score, which is the predictive score or the opportunity score. The higher the scoring of the opportunity, the higher the chances are of getting this opportunity converted into a quote. So in this case, we see that the probability is 60% and the expected value of the opportunity from the customer is expected to be around $3,000 or so US. We will use these values to create the opportunity. While all this is going on in SAP Sales Cloud in the foreground, these events get transmitted to the intelligent workflow layer in the system. Once the opportunity is created, you, as the sales representative, will have the option of creating the quote and then performing the more complex product configuration, since we are talking about the IM&C industry where the products are pretty complex and are configurable as well. CPQ is integrated here for the quote creation. CPQ is integrated as a mashup in SAP Sales Cloud, and you can go ahead and create the sales quote, which is for the price of $3,100 US. This is the CPQ integration that we have done with SAP Sales Cloud, and this is a CPQ quote that will be saved once the quote is saved with a unique number. The sales representative navigates to the quotation for the product configuration. These products are maintained in S/4HANA, which is the back-end system, and they are replicated to the knowledge base on CPQ via CPS, which is just a microservice that uses algorithms and using RESTful APIs. So the product and the attributes and the pricing information are replicated on CPQ. The CPQ quote is opened and it has been saved. The IBM differentiator that is brought along is optimal pricing. Now we will go ahead and add the product here, which has not been selected so far. We will select a complex product for IM&C industry. We will choose a compressor for this demonstration. When you select the product, you can see the various attributes as associated with it. Based on what you select among these parameters, the pricing changes. All these attributes are maintained in the underlying S4 system. You can see that this configuration is still incomplete. But when we select the mandatory fields, the fields that are required for this configuration to be complete for that product are marked as green. Accordingly, when we choose any of the parameters, you see that the configuration summary also changes. It happens in real time because of the RESTful APIs that we are calling. After the product is configured, you can add it to the quote, which will have the base price derived from the product and the completed configuration. IBM differentiator cognitive pricing is based on the historic transactions of the user and their product choices as a means of determining what the acceptable and most preferred price range is for this product. Based on these complex algorithms and historic transactions, SAP Data Intelligence will return the values of an optimal range of prices for this particular quotation. In this instance, optimal means that it will return an optimal higher and an optimal lower price that you can use to alter the quote. The higher the price, higher the profit margin, but the chances of winning the quote are lower, and vice versa. The lower the price, the higher the chances of winning the quote, but with a smaller profit margin. Based on this information, the sales representative can make a wise decision to alter the offer price if they want to. They can submit the quote to the customer for revision, which is what we're going to do right now. You can generate the quote document here, and then create and send this information to the customer to review. Here we can log in as the customer and try to approve the quotation from customer's side, which you will see later. What is visible now on the screen is the Workflow Monitor, which is basically the workflow management console for tracking the workflow execution. In case of any errors, the technical team can check this Workflow Monitor to determine the type of error, and based on the error category, the workflow can be retried and terminated. As soon as the lead or the opportunity creation is triggered, a new instance of the workflow gets triggered. And then, as the process moves ahead and the generated lead gets linked with an opportunity, you can monitor the status of the workflow execution process. As shown here in the Workflow Monitor, the lead is created in SAP Sales Cloud, and then the lead and opportunity statuses change. And finally, the lead gets converted into an opportunity, and that opportunity gets linked to the lead through an API call from the workflow. Once the linking is done, then the quotation is prepared. The workflow sends the quotation notification to the sales representative's My Inbox app, where the sales representative can check the prepared quotation. In the My Inbox app, the sales representative finds the customer contact information for the created opportunity along with the quotation to assess it. Now there are two options. One is to trigger the quotation creation, and the other is to exit the process. If the sales representative clicks the exit button, the workflow is terminated to cancel that particular LTO process. But if the sales rep clicks the create quote button, the workflow will call an OData service to trigger the quotation creation in the CPQ system. You saw that the sales rep has forwarded the quotation to the customer for review. The customer receives an embedded URL in the email on which they can click and see the details of the quotation that has been shared with them. Let's open the quotation, which will have the details about the price, the product, item details, pricing details, and discounts, if at all applicable, along with the details of the quotation. The customer has the option of rejecting the proposal, or they can ask for discounts and other concessions and propose the changes. If they are happy with the price and the quotation offered, they can go ahead and accept the proposal. Once they have made these changes via workflow, the status of the quote will now change to accepted, meaning that the customer has accepted the quote. So now we go ahead and place the order to ERP. That is the S/4HANA system via the workflow, and the sales order is created in S/4HANA. You see the alert here that the action finished successfully. Then you go to Fiori to access the S/4HANA system to see the sales order that was created and to look at its configuration. You select the item and the same product configuration that you did earlier. The details are available here, as in the variant configuration of the pricing, along with the attribute level configuration for the product that we selected for the quote. Here's the product you selected. The configuration status is released. This is the net value, sales document, corresponding item number, ship to party details, order quantity, and various other configurable attributes. All these are also available for the support agent to take it forward. In this section, you will see the technical implementation of the intelligent workflow for this entire LTO process. So first, let's start with the process orchestration. This is the developed workflow. Zooming in, you can see here how the workflow calls OData service to different systems such as SAP Sales Cloud, CPQ, and S4 to create the lead and to link the lead to an opportunity, then convert it again to generate the sales quotation, and finally send it to a sales representative. After the sales representative has approved it, the workflow will create the sales quotation in SAP Sales Cloud, then in CPQ. And then at last, it will create the sales order in the S4 system. The second thing you will find is loosely coupled architecture. These loosely coupled architectural solutions are being offered using SAP BTP API management. This LTO process execution calls different APIs. Here is a quick look at one of them so you can see how we have leveraged API management to make these calls configurable. This is the API management portal, and here you have one API view that provides one proxy URL. To make the call, there is a target endpoint behind the scenes. You can change this target endpoint anytime to make the architecture loosely coupled. This means that at any point of time in any other CRM system like Salesforce, you can connect it for this integration. Next, you will see how the intelligent workflow follows SAP event-driven architecture using SAP Event Mesh. You have seen that many business events are getting generated in this process, and you can use SAP Event Mesh to capture them. Let us take a quick look at how Event Mesh has been configured to receive all the business events and capture them in the workflow. This message client is configured here to connect the source system to receive all the business events in the queue. And there is a subscription mechanism which helps to subscribe various event topics. As soon as the business events get triggered, the events come to the event mesh where there is a defined webhook. Here is the webhook in which you find the microservice that is the Node.js module for receiving the events in the workflow. Finally, let's look at the process visibility capability of SAP Workflow Management and how it makes the entire LTO process very transparent, and let's also look at the low-code, no-code mechanism for providing a simple way of mitigating the risk in the process, as well as for monitoring process KPIs in real time. In this visibility scenario, some of the process KPIs have been defined, such as the opportunity win rate for the current quarter, where you can see how many opportunities have been won in this quarter. And then you can also see how many LTO processes are at risk and how many are in the critical phase. So these are the features you can benefit from in this LTO intelligent workflow to accelerate the digitization process for various clients.
There are more intelligent workflows created by IBM in IM&C industries, like an aftermarket service which accelerates the plant maintenance process, which is a mixed set of solutions and services from both SAP and IBM. Similarly, we have a set of maintenance and digital handover scenarios also published as a content package in API Business Hub. If you want to know more about these IBM content packages, go into the IBM Partners section in the API Business Hub, where you can go through the available documentation about these content packages. And if you want to download these packages, you can connect with the IBM contacts mentioned in the documentation. So, start your journey with SAP Workflow Management and the industry-based prepackaged content for your process automation and extension needs. We are collaborating with partners like IBM to develop more and more content packages that you can leverage for your use cases. SAP Workflow Management provides an enhanced experience for digitizing and automating workflows and decisions, as well as providing end-to-end visibility. It comes with predefined accelerator packages for common process problems across different lines of business, along with pre-delivered user interfaces and integration models across SAP and non-SAP systems. We have made the consumption and extension easier by letting you use public RESTful APIs to integrate the packages into S/4HANA or into any SAP lines of business, and also into any third-party system. You can seamlessly integrate workflow management with robotic process automation, with conversational AI and Qualtrics surveys for any kind of experience management that you would want to introduce into your processes. All of these capabilities enhance the overall automation and extension experience in your digital transformation journey. Here are some quick links that you can follow in case you want to learn more about our services. Please contact us for more information and news around intelligent workflows at IBM or SAP Workflow Management.